Welcome to the evolution of consciousness. The world is in crisis and transformation. We are facing unprecedented challenges and changes in every segment of our global society. We live in a world where our economy and ecology are facing an uncertain future. We have created an economy where some companies are not allowed to fail, while others struggle to survive. Where the value of our currencies are uncertain and can fluctuate dramatically and unexpectedly. We've created an ecology where virtually every living system is in decline, and they are declining at ever-increasing rates. We are destroying our environment more quickly than it can repair itself. Regrettably, greed and fear are too often primary driving forces in our world today, and if unaddressed, will virtually ensure the destruction of our global economy. Ignorance of the complexity and interdependency with our environment virtually ensures the destruction of our global ecology. Today we are facing a tsunami of problems, so severe that they have pushed us to the brink of disaster. As a result of these problems, we often live fearful and stressful lives. We have lost our sense of connection to ourselves and to each other. We live in a virtual world of virtual relationships. This feeling of disconnection and alienation explains much about how we treat ourselves and others. True respect and kindness seem to be a thing of the past. They have been replaced by cunning, greed, competition, and mistrust. We have created a me culture instead of a we culture. This has led us to a global society where we struggle to find meaning and purpose, a society where our mental and physical health is being challenged in the name of progress. But is this really progress? The question people are asking is, how did we get ourselves into this situation, and what can we do about it? One thing is certain, continuing on this path by doing what we have been doing will not solve our problems. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. We've got to do something different. So how do we do it? There are two primary elements that can help provide a deeper understanding and some solutions. They require a blending of ancient wisdom and modern-day neuroscience. First, the ancient wisdom. To answer the question, how did we get ourselves into this situation, we can find some insights in an ancient prophecy. It's called the prophecy of the eagle and the condor. No one knows exactly where or when this prophecy originated, but fragments of it are found in cultures of many indigenous peoples around the world. It is said that the people of the eagle, representing the masculine principle, and the people of the condor, representing the feminine principle in each of us, lived in peace, harmony, and balance with each other for thousands of years. At some point, no one knows exactly when or why, they had a parting of ways and became adversaries. The peace, harmony, and balance in the world was lost, and great pain and suffering resulted. We are still feeling much of that pain and suffering in today's world. The prophecy goes on to say that when the eagle and condor fly together again and are reunited in love, peace, harmony, and balance will return to the world. This wisdom comes from people who lived close to nature. They learned how to live in harmony and balance with nature. You might say that the principles of nature became their guidepost to a life of peace, harmony, and balance. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. When most people think of nature, they think of trees, mountains, lakes, oceans, deserts, and all manner of animal and plant life. What most people miss are the underlying principles that nature uses to create and support life. For millions of years, nature has, through the process of evolution, tried out all kinds of processes and mechanisms, and honed them down to make the most perfect systems to support life. These principles are shared by all life forms, even the most primitive organisms on the planet. It is these principles that may offer us a solution to our problems. Why wouldn't we want to use principles proven to create sustainability and balance for millions of years? Nature may be our most qualified life coach. What if you could hire the world's best life coach with millions of years of experience and a proven track record for sustainability? Well, you can. The life coach is called nature. What would happen if we applied the same successful principles of nature to the principles of everyday life? When we examine the principles of nature, we will discover nature's wisdom, even in observing the most basic unit of life. In reality, the first organisms in the world were cells. During the first 3 billion years of life, cells were scattered all over the planet, and through evolution, cells started to come together in order to thrive. They began to specialize, take on different roles, and work together to create a sustainable system. Today, multicellular organisms thrive because of their diversity and collaboration towards that common goal. In fact, we are actually communities of living cells, trillions of them. When they all operate and work in community, following the principles of nature, they share a common goal of striving for the betterment of the whole organism. However, today, the mindsets and lifestyles of many people, which directly affect the health and well-being of the cells, are unsustainable. They are out of alignment with the principles of nature, often resulting in poor health, destructive behaviors, and a general sense of helplessness and hopelessness. In fact, our whole world is facing profound problems because we are collectively ignoring the principles of nature. Most people today operate under the concept that the survival of the fittest is the primary driving force of evolution. This attitude creates a competitive and aggressive, do unto others before they do unto you world. This belief in the survival of the fittest has been interpreted over time to mean that only the most unethical and most ruthless people will survive and thrive, that it's a cutthroat world out there, and the end justifies the means, especially when it comes to making money and acquiring physical possessions. This mindset has led us down a dangerous and ultimately catastrophic path. Fortunately, there is another more accurate interpretation of nature than the survival of the fittest theory. Nature, by the way it created itself through evolution, is not a system based on competition. Nature is a system based on cooperation. There is a 17th century definition of competition that is very different from what it has become today. According to Webster's dictionary, the original definition of competition was derived from 2 Latin root words, which mean to strive for a common goal. To strive together for something is quite different than the current meaning of competition, which is to win at any cost, or to see other people as enemies rather than as potential friends, willing to help each other. To strive for a common goal sounds more like today's meaning of collaboration rather than competition. It seems our ancestors understood this key principle of nature better than we do today. Once again, ancient cultures can teach us something important about how to create a sustainable and harmonious society. Some of this wisdom can still be seen in common greetings used today by vestiges of these ancient societies in modern times. These greetings acknowledge an interconnectedness between all people. Namaste. The divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. In Lakesh, I am another you. Taizen, how is your soul perceiving the world? Mitakwe Oisen, all are related. Aloha, I recognize the presence of divine breath in you. Grusgat, greetings, God. In their own way, each culture expresses the awareness that we all possess a connection, often of a spiritual nature. This is seen in nature herself as the principle of interconnectedness. Every part of nature is connected to every other part of nature. This includes human beings. Many indigenous peoples of today still see themselves as a part of nature, not apart from nature. They acknowledge the principle of interconnectedness. One of the greatest scientific thinkers of modern times agrees with this ancient wisdom. A human being is a part of the whole, called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. He experiences himself, his thoughts, and feelings as something separated from the rest, a kind of optical delusion of his consciousness. This delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion, to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. Nobody is able to achieve this completely, but the striving for such achievement is in itself a part of the liberation and a foundation for inner security. For the most part, it seems that our modern industrialized culture has lost or rejects this critical wisdom of interconnectedness. In order for civilization to have a sustainable future in our fast-changing world, we have to get out of the competitive, separatist mindset and introduce the ancient wisdom of interconnectedness and collaboration. Because when we start to model ourselves after the wisdom of nature, we begin to model ourselves after successful, sustainable systems. There are multiple examples of how evolution leads towards cooperation and not competition. The whole reason cells banded together is because they couldn't do much on their own. But when they came together in this way, as a community, they created new capabilities. If you have a group of cells, how intelligent is one cell? It's 1x. But what if you put 16 of them together? How intelligent is one cell then? It's 16x, because now it draws from the wisdom of the entire community of cells. People united together in communities for similar reasons. For example, only by coming together could they learn to specialize, instead of everyone having to be experts at everything, which made them more vulnerable in their environment. People are much more powerful when they come together and work together. This is called the power of diversity, one of the key principles of nature. This principle is seen clearly in one of the most delicate and fragile things in nature, the snowflake. Individually, they appear insignificant and powerless, but just look at what they can do when they stick together. In order to accomplish great things, we have to work together. Healthy competition can be a source of inspiration to be the best we can be, rather than creating a win-lose situation. Yet when we see others as competitors for limited resources like material goods, recognition, and money, every day is a struggle for survival, and we live fearful and stressful lives. Instead, the mindset we need is one that fosters a sense of common purpose, security, and abundance, rather than fear and scarcity. Collaboration isn't the only wisdom nature provides us. When you look at the biggest and most dangerous creatures of all time, the dinosaurs, they're no longer around. Yet cockroaches have been around for millions of years. They learned how to adapt to a changing environment. The dinosaurs did not. Adapt or perish, now as ever, is nature's inexorable imperative. Some of the key principles of nature include collaboration, interconnectedness, diversity, adaptation, resiliency, balance, harmony, and more. If people applied these principles in their daily lives, the world would be a much more sustainable and hospitable place. The fact is that life as we have created it just isn't working for millions of people. We are trapped in a prison of limiting beliefs about how to create joy and happiness in our lives. In order to create a safe, joyful, and sustainable future, we have to do something different. In order to do something different, we have to think differently. We need to elevate our thinking to a new level of consciousness, a level that can free us from this mental prison. So how do we do it? Neuroscience provides some answers. There is a modern-day analogy to the symbolism of the ancient prophecy of the eagle and the condor. It is represented by the left and right hemispheres of the human brain. The left hemisphere is commonly referred to as the masculine side of the brain, and the right hemisphere the feminine side. In this graphic, you can see why this is so. Many of the qualities and attributes reflect the common associations with the masculine and feminine principles found in each of us. New knowledge about the mind and brain are providing some important insights and solutions to our problems. Those solutions include the subconscious mind, the whole brain state, and high-speed mindset change. U.S. News & World Report presented a special issue February 28, 2005, called The Secret Mind, featuring an article entitled, How Your Unconscious Really Shapes Your Decisions. The article revealed, according to cognitive neuroscientists, we are only conscious of 5% of our cognitive activity, so most of our decisions, actions, emotions, and behavior depends on 95% of our brain activity that goes beyond our conscious awareness. The subconscious mind controls all involuntary processes and functions, including thoughts, beliefs, emotions, memories, skills, instincts, and behaviors of which we are not consciously aware. They originate in the subconscious mind and generate the effects we experience in our brain and body. These subconscious experiences create beliefs that drive future thoughts and behaviors. Often these thoughts and behaviors are self-limiting or even self-destructive. They dictate the limits of what we can achieve, both personally and professionally. Yet many change processes and self-help methods fail or produce limited or temporary results because they communicate only with the conscious mind, relying heavily on insights, reason, willpower, positive thinking, and motivation. Conscious, insight-based training teaches us what to do to be more effective in our lives, but it seldom gives us the necessary mind management tools to actually accomplish that goal. The missing piece is the ability to align our subconscious beliefs with our conscious goals in order to create effective, sustainable change. What this tells neuroscientists is that it's not enough to rely on insights, positive thinking, motivation, good intentions, and willpower to make lasting changes in our lives. We must do something different by learning how to change our subconscious beliefs. A key factor in changing subconscious beliefs is what is called the whole brain state. This mental state is important in actualizing the full potential of the brain, allowing for optimal personal and professional development. The whole brain state has been proven to heighten spiritual awareness, improve recall, dramatically enhance creativity, as well as problem solving and emotional well-being. In other words, to greatly increase your ability to live a happy, functional, satisfying, and sustainable life. Essentially, the whole brain state is a state of superlearning. Research reveals that the whole brain state is a significant contributor to human evolution. From a neuroscience perspective, we understand how it allows for greater efficiency in the brain and how it enhances both conscious and subconscious processes. From a quantum perspective, we are coming to recognize it as a gateway to higher consciousness. A gateway to higher consciousness and consequently higher levels of functionality. Is this really possible? The answer is yes. Scientific research supports the effectiveness of the whole brain state in a specific way, which provides for high-speed mindset change in a process called Psyche, a safe and effective way to access and change the subconscious mind, leading to higher levels of consciousness and more successful ways to create a happy and satisfying life. Psyche is a safe and non-invasive way to quickly and easily change beliefs at the subconscious level of the mind. We have been teaching people to free their minds from the prison of limiting beliefs since 1988. This process allows access to the subconscious mind in order to change self-limiting beliefs that can inhibit our ability to successfully meet life's challenges, as well as to create a world that is sustainable. By aligning our beliefs with the principles of nature, we have a template for creating a sustainable future for ourselves and our planet. In a study where 125 cases were examined for the whole brain state, 98% of the cases demonstrated the presence of the whole brain state after the intervention of the Psyche change process, also known as a balance. Following the Psyche balance, this individual demonstrated a statistically significant shift in hemispheric coherence patterns, which was reflected behaviorally in increased access to emotional resources and integrated whole brain relationships. Psyche is different because it reflects the latest understandings in the field of mind-brain neuroscience. Research utilizing Psyche has revealed that once a mind is elevated to a higher state of consciousness through the whole brain state, it has greater influence in situations both personally and professionally. In addition to the ease with which subconscious beliefs can be changed, accessing the whole brain state can dramatically lower stress levels in the body. Seeing life's challenges through the filters of both hemispheres of the brain simultaneously gives a new perspective to life by elevating thinking beyond ordinary levels of consciousness. By using the Psyche process, even beliefs that have been held for many years can be transformed, usually within minutes. Imagine the impact this could have on a world so in need of change from outdated thinking and self-limiting beliefs. A study reported in 1988 in the International Journal of Neuroscience by researchers at the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de Mexico suggests that synchronized brain states significantly influence nonverbal communication. The study was done with 13 paired subjects. The subjects were tested in a darkened and soundproof Faraday cage, a lead-lined screen chamber that filters out all outside electromagnetic activity. The paired subjects were instructed to close their eyes and try to communicate non-verbally by becoming aware of the other's presence and to signal the experimenter when they felt a connection had occurred. The brainwave states of the subjects were monitored during this process. Experimenters reported that during the sessions, an increase in similarity of EEG brainwave patterns between the pairs of communicators developed. Furthermore, the experimenters noticed the subject with the highest concordance, whole brain integration, was the one who most influenced the session. In other words, the brainwave pattern of the individual with less interaction between the brain hemispheres would shift to resemble the brainwave pattern of the person who demonstrated a more complete whole brain state. These conclusions support the proposition that our thoughts, even non-verbally expressed, can influence others. In fact, the more whole-brained we become, the more we influence others towards that state of being as well. Imagine a world where everyone is whole-brained. It would be a very different world indeed, one filled with peace, harmony, and respect for our planet, for ourselves, and for others. Because of what we've learned recently from neuroscience, behavioral science, cellular biology, and quantum physics, we are now able to utilize the power of our subconscious mind to create effective, sustainable change in thought and action, to raise our level of creative possibility thinking and problem solving by accessing the whole brain state, resulting in the creation of a better world for us and for generations to come. And to experience high-speed mindset change that aligns the subconscious mind with the principles of nature, utilizing that wisdom to create a viable and sustainable future. Psyche is a method that combines the power of the subconscious mind, the whole brain state, and high-speed mindset change to generate sustainability in creative thinking and inspired action. This unique combination of mind management tools provide an effective and powerful system for transformation on a local and global scale. The Psyche process focuses on the subconscious mind rather than the conscious, and by creating a more whole brain state, the subconscious becomes receptive to new beliefs, rewiring the mind to be open to new ideas, greater empathy, expanded creativity, and collaboration. So what does this mean for you? The short answer is everything, because your subconscious beliefs affect every area of your life, including your health, self-esteem, relationships, financial prosperity, even your deepest spiritual understandings. These beliefs determine the limits of what you can achieve. As Henry Ford once said, if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. So learning how to access and change your subconscious mind is essential to living a happy, satisfying, and fulfilling life. But getting what you want by changing subconscious beliefs doesn't always lead to happiness. In other words, getting the things you want isn't always what you need to have a happy and satisfying life, because the most important things in life aren't things at all. It is here we can benefit again from the ancient wisdom of our ancestors. For thousands of years, out of necessity, Our ancestors learned to live in harmony and balance with nature. If not, they didn't survive. Our modern-day society has forgotten much of that wisdom, and we have done so at our own peril. What was their secret? What did our ancestors know that we in the industrialized world have forgotten? If you study ancient cultures from around the world, you will find one answer stands out from all the others. First and foremost, we have forgotten how to live in harmony and balance with Mother Earth and all that entails. We treat the earth as an inexhaustible resource to be used and abused as we see fit. We have forgotten that we are a part of, not apart from, nature. All things are our relatives. What we do to everything, we do to ourselves. All is really one. We have lost a sense of the sacred in ourselves and in all things. We have lost respect for the earth and each other. We often live in fear and mistrust. The wisdom of ancient cultures reminds us that everything in creation has a spirit, and through this connection of spirit, we all are related. The science of quantum physics is now confirming this ancient wisdom. Physicists call it quantum entanglement. Everything is energy, and everything is connected energetically. The total number of minds in the universe is one. If you could see the world through the eyes of nature, you would see these truths, and we would be doing something different. Well, that may not be as far-fetched as it sounds. By being able to introduce the principles of nature to your subconscious mind, where they become a habit of perceiving rather than an effort, you could see the world more as nature sees it, bringing more harmony and balance into your life and to the planet. It seems that for decades, self-limiting and self-destructive beliefs have brought us to this critical point in history. We stand on the brink of an unstable precipice, desperately hoping that things will get better. If we are to avoid this unstable and destructive future, we must do something different. We are the solution to the problems we face. Together, we can help fulfill the prophecy of the eagle and the condor. Psyche gives us the ability to reunite the male and female aspects of our consciousness, intellect and intuition, logic and emotions, science and spirit, and to change self-limiting beliefs that are no longer worthy of who we are or who we are becoming. The eagle and the condor will fly together again, as the prophecy foretells. However, we must reintegrate the left and right hemispheres of our brains in order to create a gateway to higher consciousness and restore peace, harmony, and balance in our lives. Are you ready to have the eagle and condor fly together in your life? For more information on how to create a sustainable world for yourself and the planet by aligning with the wisdom of ancient cultures and the principles of nature, visit psyche.com. That's psych-k.com. Welcome to the evolution of consciousness.